I'm finna go over my top stocks I plan on putting capital into if I see the opportunity for January. Now, only pick these stocks for January. What am I talking about? I'm talking about my swing trading, which is AKA to me short-term investing. This is how I see what I like and see what I don't. I pick new stocks every single month for me to go through, and these are my top stocks. Plus, I got ETFs to go through also. So with no further ado, let me get into my top stocks for January 2026 and ETFs. Starting off, I'll always look back 60 days because that's the part of the IPTA data range. Where do I get the IPTA data range from? I learned from this dude called the Inner Circle Trader on YouTube. So go check him out, right? That's why I basically got all my links from when it comes to this charting stuff, right? And the market basically. So I do a 60-day look back and I look for the PD arrays as far as 60 days back into 40 days and 20 days. So from range to 20 to 60 days, I look back from my swing trading and I mark these days out and see what type of PD arrays that got created for all of these stocks slash ETFs. But after I get done looking at that, I'll look at what are the top ETFs I'm going to look at for January. Starting off first, QQQ, SPY, SMH, SLK, IWM. Those are the top ETFs I'm going to go through. And I'm going to show you guys the charting from during the whole process. And that's how I look at the chart to see what the opportunity I'm going to get in, right? For the stock or the ETF. Now coming down to the S&P 500 stocks, we got Google, we got NVDA, we got AVGO, we got Eli Lilly, we got Apple. Those are my top S&P 500 stocks that I'm gonna look into, get opportunities in for a swing trade. If there's one to be there, we gonna go over them every single day to see if there's any opportunity. If there's not, it's perfectly fine, but we gonna look at them. That's why we have a watch list. Just because we have a watch list doesn't mean we have to get into every single trade, but it's just good to look at. Going into the NASDAQ 100 stocks. We got six of these. We got Meta, Tesla, MU, ASML, AMZN, Netflix, Amazon Netflix. We got all that's the stocks for the NASDAQ. Now we're gonna go to the Russell 1000. We got heavy financials up for the Russell 1000. We got JPM, Visa, MasterCard, MA, GE, Caterpillar, and then Pepsi, PP, and then CAT, right? Then for the Russell 2000. Now if I'm filling the small caps, this is the small caps. You got to be careful on the small caps. Let me say something real quick for the small cap. Be careful on the small cap stocks because most of these companies are not profitable. The money I'll get into a short term investment, like the capital I'll put up, the risk I'll put up to get into a short term investment for a stock in the S&P or a stock in the NASDAQ will not be the same capital I'll put up for a Russell 2000 stock, which is a small cap stock. Why? Because most of these companies aren't profitable, but they might look good on the chart, right? So I might get in them and get out of them real quick, but very low capital because I know they're not profitable and I know they're not going to have a good quality, be a good quality trade like a stock in the Russell 1000 or the NASDAQ 100 or the S&P 500 will have. But that being said, let's get into the chart for all of these stocks and ETFs. I'm gonna chart them out and I'm gonna show you what I'm liking and what I'm not liking. And I'm gonna go through this process every single day of January. So make sure to stay attuned with my lives and my videos that I'll be posting because I go through these stocks every single day. I always want to look at the indexes, right? And then we're gonna get into the ETFs. But if we look on a long term frame horizon, this is bullish. But we just got done hitting all-time highs. Me personally, I want to see it come down to this to rebalance to this weekly buy sign and balance, sell sign inefficiency right here. But you know, when we're at all-time highs, market can keep going up and up and up. With that being said, we respected this buy sign and balance, not buy sign and balance, this volume imbalance right here, aka a new week opening gap. We're currently within it. We filled it. I want to see a close below and then come into this weekly buy sign about sell sign efficiency. Then at that point, that'll let me know to look for longs, right? To get into longs when we have a rebalance to that. That lets me know to get into longs on stocks that's within the S&P 500, like I just listed. Okay. Now, looking at the NASDAQ failed to hit an all-time high. And what do we call that? We call that a SMT. We hit a new all-time high on the S&P 500, but we didn't do it on the NASDAQ. So that shows heavy bearishness on the NASDAQ. And when the S&P falls, the NASDAQ's gonna fall harder. So uh, um from a NASDAQ perspective on a weekly chart, I could say we haven't had a market share shift yet, but we did close below this volume imbalance. So I am definitely, especially for my day trading, I am leading heavily bearish on the Qs, on the NASDAQ 100. I'm leaning heavily bearish on it. So since I'm bearish from a weekly chart time frame, I definitely would not get in any type of calls saying I want the market to go up on any of the NASDAQ 100 stocks that I listed, because due to this let me know the huge index wants to go down lower. So why would I get any calls for the stocks within it? For example, after that, now I looked at the two major big indexes. Now I could go to just something such as the SPY, which is the ETFs. Let's get into the ETFs. Now this is the SPY ETF weekly chart. Looking back 60 days, I see we're coming up off an all-time high. Now I definitely want us to rebalance to this weekly buy sign and balance sell sign efficiency right here on SPY. Um Looking at the SPY, yeah, we got the perfect entry. We had a good market structure shift. The thing is, I want to see it close below here, but I don't definitely need to see it close. But we already had to close below this buy sign and balance sell sign efficiency right here. And what else? Let me go to a 4-hour chart. I'm not in this trade, but I do want to see this happen. Right? We tap back into what? We tap back into this low for a market share shift. This is model 2022 right here. We take out this high, and what do? We take out all-time highs, I believe. This was all-time highs. Yes, we take out all-time highs. Then what? We wait for it. I want to wait for a market share shift based off a daily swing low. I really don't care about a 4-hour swing low. I like when I'm swing trading, I care about a daily swing low more. So we see a push below. Yes, it was a close, but mainly I like this push below it for a market share shift. It doesn't have to be a close for a market share shift, but it does have to be a push below. So we pushed below it, and what did we create? We created a 4-hour buy sign and sell sign and balance buy sign efficiency. We tap back into it. Stop loss that will be at this swing low. What I will be targeting, I will be targeting this weekly buy sign and balance sell sign efficiency right here, right? And I could be wrong, but I definitely want to see it come to that. It looks like the perfect setup for shorts down to here. My overall perspective on the SPY, I don't see any market structure shift yet to the downside. So therefore, I'm still bullish on it, but I do want to see it come back down right here. Now we're gonna go to the stocks within the S&P 500 in the SPY ETF. First off, we're looking at Google, GOOGL. Google just been going crazy after hitting all-time highs. I'm definitely not shorting this. I don't want to short it at all. We're definitely holding this weekly volume imbalance right here. And yeah, man, Google just continually to go up and go up. I do want to see what happens when it comes down to this low, right? And look for any entry. But for right now, I'm just chilling on Google. Like, one of my personal rules is I chill on companies when it comes to all-time highs. I do not get in any type of company when it's at all-time highs, or do not look for any type of trade when it's at all-time highs. I wait for like a little pullback, a rebalance, and yeah, man, Google just, we got this sideways movement. We took out these relative equal highs up. Oh no, we didn't. We still got this high to take out, but these are highs relative equal. We took out this one. I think it's gonna take out this one because the market is definitely attracted to relative equal highs. So I do, and we created another one. So I do see it taking this out. But first, yeah, man, I generally speaking, looking on the weekly chart, if we don't create another weekly buy time to balance sign efficiency, I want us to come all the way down here to this one, this 275. Not saying it will, and not saying it won't, but that would be ideally a good enough. Be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna look for opportunity to get into a Google call for swing trading right here. Other than that, I'm gonna just let Google do what it do. Now moving on to the next stock within the S&P 500 I like, which is NVIDIA. Now the NVIDIA is looking good. We had this market structure shift right here, right? We had this market structure shift right here from a weekly time frame perspective. So I like that. I like this market structure shift right here. We closed above this volume imbalance. So that's letting me know that NVIDIA is definitely bullish. NVIDIA is definitely bullish. I wouldn't recommend shorting NVIDIA in any type of way at all. NVIDIA is bullish, right? And since NVIDIA is bullish, I will only look for longs in this perspective. You see this market structure shift right here. Yes, it was a close, but it's just because we pushed through it, that's a market structure shift. So I'm definitely bullish on the video. We have this weekly premium wick right here to worry about. They're also within this one. But yeah, I wouldn't shorten the video whatsoever. I would genuinely look for it to come back to this and get in long right here. But like I said, the thing about it getting into longs, I want to see the I want to see the index of the QQQ show some strength, right? Now this would be a good entry for longs. That 183.92, that 183.92 does look good from a weekly's time page perspective on the video. This looks amazing. Let me go to the 1 day. Yeah, man, we see how we just got a good displacement above here. Target these relative equal highs from a weekly perspective. I do see oh snap. Let me go back. I do see NVIDIA hitting all-time highs again within this year. Based off this weekly chart, I like what happened on NVIDIA. And yeah, man, it's the only thing that's bringing me down is that I'm not bullish on the Qs right now, bro. I'm not really that bullish on the Qs. If I see some bullish movement off the Qs and then NVIDIA is within this 174 to 183, I would like it for calls, right? And targeting what this week, we got this weekly right here. And this is a 1-to-1 for a from a risk rewards perspective. If you put 1,000 in, you'll make 1,000, right? That's a good 1-to-1 risk reward. And this is 0.8. I don't like nothing under a 1 to. If it's under a 1-to-1 risk reward, I don't like it. That's horrible risk management, in my opinion. Right now, moving on to the next stock. This next stock is Broadcom. Broadcom has been going up lately. I like Broadcom based off of what it's been doing with AI and just in general. This is a good company. It's been killing earnings, and I like it. I like how it's within its weekly volume imbalance. Then we have this to come over, but let's go to a daily chart. Of course, we have to look at the daily. Looking at this daily chart, I liked how we pushed above, but you see the bodies of these candles. It's really skeptical to me though. Like you see the bodies, how this has been moving. We pushed outside of here. I don't know. We pushed above this swing high. This is a market structure shift. It's not a candle close above. This is my example. We have this huge displacement above here, but we got this weekly sell sign and balance buy sign efficiency to worry about. I want to see if we could close above here, but I don't like these candles right here. We might retrace, can retrace back, but look at this small. You see this small buy sign and balance sell sign efficiency right here. Like I'm skeptical on. Let me go to a 4-hour chart. I'm skeptical on AVGO. Like you see this just consolidation. So I'm gonna just see what happens genuinely if we could push above on AVGO. If we could push above this weekly sell sign and balance buy sign efficiency, right? I want to see what happens then. Then we can, if we could get a move back up to these all-time highs. Other than that, I am chilling on AVGO. I don't really like nothing for real. Moving on to the next stock in the S&P 500 in the SPY ETF. Eli Lilly. Healthcare's been going up. I ain't gonna lie, early 2020, 25, they was getting hit. They was getting hit bad in 2025. But towards the end, it started going towards October, it started mooning and going back up. It's right back at all-time highs. I genuinely want to see it come back down to this 977. I don't really want to do nothing right now. Why? Because it's within a premium. I don't get into calls within a premium. I short in a premium and I buy within what? A discount. So based off of this dealing range, it's definitely in a premium. I'm not doing nothing with Eli Lilly right now, but I do want to see it come down to this 977 point 12. That'll be good. I'll look for getting to calls if it comes down there. Other than that, I'm just chilling on Eli Lilly and just watching it do what it do. All right, this next stock is Apple. Apple. Now, from a weekly time frames perspective, it definitely is. It definitely is bullish on the weekly time frame. I don't see no market structure shift to the downside. If we push below here, if we push below this swing low of 266.95, that would be a market structure. If we get displacement, but not that doesn't mean I would short it, right? Just because we get this good displacement below there. I want to see us come. You see these huge volume imbalance is in between here. We got one at the bottom, one at the top. What is this called? This is one of ICT's the inner circle traders PDA rates is called a suspension block. So I want to see for entry for longs, I want to see what when it comes down to this suspension block of between this 252.05 to 264.39. I want to see what happens within here. Um, so yeah, I want to see what happens when it comes down to here. Doesn't mean I'm going short it, but it does look good for shorts. Why? Because let me go to the we pushed below swing low, right? That's why we pushed below this swing low right here on a daily time frame, and then what we tap back into this daily sell sign and balance, buy sign and efficiency. Now that's why I do have this up right here. This would have been a good entry for shorts after taking out highs. We got this market structure shift, push above. This is model 2022. Push above inside of here. Stop loss at the high of the fair value gap, the sell sign, the balance, buy sign, efficiency. Yeah, I do ultimately see it coming down. I am not in this trade. I repeat, I am not in this trade, but I do want to see it come down. Maybe look for a long opportunity on Apple. Other than that, for Apple, I am chilling. I'm not doing nothing. I just want to see it come down here down here to see if I can get a long entry. And these are good relative equal lows. Also, this one. All right, yep. Moving on to the next stop. Moving on to this ETF. What was my next ETF? It was QQQ. Looking at QQQ, like I said, bro, I'm bearish on the Qs right now. I'm definitely bearish on the Qs. Look, we got this close below this volume imbalance right here. That's letting me know it wants to be bearish. Where do I see the QQQ going down to? This 599.51. I definitely want to see it come down to here from a weekly. Yeah, this weekly is like bearish to me because we closed below here. If this was really strong, we would have held it and not even had closed below the consequent encouragement of this volume imbalance. So I do see it coming down to this 599.51. Want to see what it does within there. We are currently within this discount wick right here from a daily chart perspective. Now moving into from a weekly chart perspective, my bad. Now moving on to a daily chart. Since we closed below that volume balance from the weekly chart, we did have a market structure shift, and we have this volume imbalance right here. I definitely see it getting violated, bro. Since we closed below that weekly, I definitely see this volume imbalance right here from the daily chart getting disrespected and closing below and coming down here. But you never know what manual intervention might come in. Some crazy news might come out and just might send a rocket, send the market up. But I'm bearish right now, currently, and I could be wrong. That's why you have to manage your risk right. Manage your risk right. If you are not managing your risk right, you're doing something wrong. We all, as an investor, you always want to manage your risk right. You always want to know when to put capital in and when not to put capital in. So that's on me. I know when to put capital in and when not to put capital in inside the market. And in this case, I'm not going to short it because I don't see no opportunity to short this, but I do see it coming down to here, right? Moving on to the stocks within the ETF. First one is Meta. Meta. Now, I bought some long term, right? I bought some long term Meta. I do want to see if we could, after taking out this volume imbalance right here, I want to see this during this week. If we get a push above this, if we get good displacement above this 673.50, that's when I'm gonna be like, okay, now it might be time to look for longs on Meta. If we push above this 673.58, And but another thing is to worry about is this swing high right here. Also, we're in this huge volume imbalance. I'll be more bullish when we get a close above this weekly, not volume imbalance, this weekly sell sign imbalance, buy side inefficiency. When I see a close above here on Meta, and I'm not even gonna go to a daily chart. I'm gonna play this straight off a weekly perspective. Off of Meta, I definitely want to see us close above here. I don't like how we've been in it. Like I don't want to just see price sit in it. So that's my weekly perspective on Meta. But let's look at the daily chart. Just looking at the daily of it, it's just like huge. Like look at all this. This is just like a busting mess. And you see how the weekly chart was just look more just clear. So that's why I just be like, yeah, I'm gonna just send on this daily chart. I'm gonna just send on this weekly chart, and from a weekly chart's perspective, look at what Meta is going to do. Moving on to the next stock is Tesla. Tesla, Westler. Now, I genuinely want to see it come back down to this 411. This is a small little buy sign and balance, a sell sign efficiency, and we are within this weekly discount gap. I do want to see it come down here though to this month. Oh, this is a monthly buy sign and balance, sell sign efficiency. I'm sorry, y'all. Um, we're going to the daily chart, and I'm gonna look at this right here. Now, this is bearish. This is heavy bearishness. We got done taking out this swing high. We got a push below. Did we get a push below swing low? For this case, we didn't. But we had this um close below this volume imbalance right here. So that's letting me know this is bearish, and especially because we hit all-time highs and we got to close below there. I definitely want to see it come down to down to this monthly buy sign and balance, sell sign efficiency again, or even this swing low right here, and see what it do. See if I can get any long opportunity from near. But I'm gonna stay patient until that happens, or I see any other. If I see another weekly buy sign and balance, sell sign efficiency get formed, I'm gonna just chill. I'm not really doing nothing on Tesla for right now. Moving on to the next stock. The next stock is Micron. Micron, you see where Micron is at from a daily chart. I'm not even gonna go to. Let's go to weekly. Let's go to a weekly chart. Looking at the weekly chart on MU, Micron Technology, we're hitting all-time high after all-time after all-time high. I want to see it come down to this 278.50, this volume imbalance right here, and typically look for a long entry. Other than that, I'm gonna just sit back, let MU do what they do. If it want to keep going higher, it's gonna keep going higher. This is a banger company. The earnings of it look pretty smooth, and yeah, man, Micron Technology is just huge. Like it's just been going crazy lately. And I'm not chasing all-time highs. A lot of people might chase all-time highs, but I want to see when if it comes between this 265.81 to 278.50. Want to see when it comes down here. Want to see what it do. Like, other than that, I'm not really doing nothing. Moving on to the next company, Amazon. Amazon. I am from a weekly perspective, I'm definitely bearish on Amazon, bro. I want to see it. Definitely want to see it come down to the 211.03 to 218. Now, when we talk about managing risk the correct way, from a weekly chart, I did like this short, and I did post it on my Instagram, on Twitter, on all of that, on all social media platforms that I have. I was like, I do like this short coming down here to this 211, but it's planned, right? So managing risk the correct way, we had to close below this sell sign and bounce buy side of bounce sell sign efficiency, right? Close below with coming down, we had a sell sign and bounce buy sign efficiency. Now, when you see an entry, when we didn't hit our relative like this low right here yet, we get a move back up for an entry. This was a perfect entry. You see how we didn't sit inside this weekly sell sign and bounce buy sign efficiency, and we didn't close above the consequent encouragement of it, right? We automatically come back down like this. That was a good entry right here coming back down. Now, what I didn't want to see after I hop in a trade, especially when it comes to option contracts, because if you don't know, bro, option contracts data is against you like so bad. So when it comes to option contracts or just managing your risk in general, after you hop in a trade and you say your target was $19, for example, it moved down 15. That's $4 away. So what's half of 19? Let's just say 10. So it moved more than $10 towards your take profit area. When I see that, I automatically go break even. After it moves $10 away from my take profit area, and you obviously see it was what? It was like what, $4 or $5 away from coming down to my whole take profit of my target where I was gonna be all out at. Then we come back after entering, right? We come back up and we play. This week we play, and that's automatically break even for me because you see after getting the entry right here, we come all the way back. We come all the way down. We move more than 50% towards my take profit area. Automatically break even. So this would have been I didn't hop in the trade, but this would have been a break even trade for me because after coming all the way down like that, and then we're gonna come back up during this week right here, during the week of December 29th. We come back up, we go all the way back up to my entry point. I don't like it. So managing my risk the correct way and deploying capital into this company the correct way when it comes to an option contract, you don't want to see that. So therefore, this is break even. Do I still see it going down to this 211? Yes. But since it did that right there, what it did, I don't want to have no parts of it. But I'm currently still bearish on Amazon. Now, if it gets a push above this 238.97, we get a good displacement above here, I'll turn back bullish from a weekly perspective. But right now, I am still currently bearish on Amazon. In a daily chart, yeah, this daily chart is just bearish also. But moving on to the next stock, which is Netflix. Netflix has been getting killed. You see this weekly chart? I would not chart along this, but I do want to see what's going to be the reaction of it when it comes down to this 88.91. If you don't know why so cheap, it had a stock market split. So the next company would definitely be Netflix. I want to see what happens when it comes down to this weekly buy sign and balance, sell sign and efficiency of this right here, right? Want to see what happens when if it comes back down to here. That's where I see it definitely headed to. Ultimately, this 82.11. Would I get into a long on? Let's go to a monthly chart perspective. I think we got this monthly buy sign balance, sell sign efficiency right here. So we're gonna put that. We can go to monthly. We got this monthly right here. I definitely see it coming back down to this 88. Ultimately, this 82.11. That's what I want to see happen. I would not long this company. I would short this company by any means necessary. I would short it. Say if it comes back up to this, we want to shorten a premium. So what's a premium based off of this dealing range? So when it comes above this, what this it's red on red. When it comes above that $100, I would say you want to get into shorts. But if it hit this monthly buy sign and balance, sell sign efficiency without going back up, I would not get into any type of short. With that being said, Netflix is his next stock. I definitely want to see what happens when it comes back down to this monthly right here. Other than that, let's go over to the next one. This is the next ETF that I had on my list, which is the IWB, and this is the what? The Russell 1000. As you can see, this thing is going up and up and up. I am not bearish on this. What will make me bearish on this? If we have a market structure shift below this, what? If we have a market structure lift on a weekly chart below this 366.87, if we have good displacement under it, then I'll turn bearish on a weekly time frame perspective on the weekly chart for the Russell 1000. Other than that, it's at all-time highs. And what do I do at all-time highs? All-time highs market is in a premium. So I am not taking on any type of capital. I'm not putting in any type of capital or risking any type of capital inside the market. I do like this push below this swing low right here. Uh, but I'm not going to short it because I don't see no short opportunity. We came down and it's too close to all-time highs, bro. But I do see it coming down to this 366.87. But you never know. We might can just keep rocking it up and up and up. Now get into the stocks within the ETF IWB, the Russell 1000 that I chose for it, the top 5. Looking at this, the first one is ASML. Let's go to a weekly chart. All right, let's go to this weekly chart, and we at all-time highs. What do I do at all-time highs? I don't press any buttons at all-time highs. I sit on my hands and I do nothing. I get my little day trades in if I can, if I see the opportunity on my futures trading. But when it comes to these companies and coming to putting capital in the market when it's all-time highs, I don't do that. Now we took out all of these relative equal highs right here on ASML. I do want to see it come down to some type of weekly freaking discount, majorly this right here, I do want to see it come back down to this 950, but ultimately I want to see it come down to this discount wick right here between 101, from between 1010 to 1056. Want to see what happens when price comes back down here from a weekly chart perspective. But this weekly chart is definitely bullish. You don't want to short this. Like, you don't, like, you keep it can keep going up and up and up. I do not want to short from a weekly chart perspective. So at that point, I'm gonna just sit back and watch what it does. Right. Moving down, we're going to the next stock, JP Morgan. Looking at JP Morgan from a weekly chart, what we're at all-time highs. This is a good company. I do want to see it come down. Ultimately, we got this weekly discount wick right here. Do want to see what happens when we come pushing to this daily buy sign and balance, sell sign efficiency. If we could get an entry off of here, going back up to the top. But yeah, man, not shorting any type of company within the IWB, since the IWB is at all-time highs in general. Do want to see it come back down to this buy sign and balance, sell sign efficiency right here. Why? Because it's on the middle part of this dealing range. And if you don't know, when a candle like this from a fair value gap, a buy sign and balance, sell sign efficiency to be specific, when the middle of it is sitting on there like that, this is a high profitability buy sign and balance, sell sign efficiency right here. So from that case, I want to see it come back here, have a rebalance right here. Ultimately, probably it would be good if we come down, dig into a discount of this low of 312.22. Then see if I can get an entry targeting back all-time highs. Moving on to the next one. Visa. Visa. I do see Visa. We had this good market share shift right here, and then a push back down into this. This is model 2022, right? We get a good push above this swing high. That lets me know what automatically, after taking out these lows, right? We took out these lows. We took out this low. We had a good market structure shift above, even plus this one. We got this one right here, but we stopped right here, right? So I'm gonna do this one ultimately, but I can mark that out. Boom. Good displacement above. It doesn't have to be a candle close, but we got good displacement above these swing highs. Now we're taking out these relative equal highs. This is very, very bullish for Visa. We tap back into this buy sign, down sell sign efficiency. Will be a stop loss. Stop loss will be right here. Now, this will be good. These relative equal highs right here will be a good take profit area. But for a better risk reward, for a 1 to 6 risk reward, almost a 2 risk reward, this all-time high of 374.11 will be good, a good target for Visa. I definitely see it going up there, since the IWB in general has been going crazy. After tap back into here, I do want to see it come majorly fill in this volume imbalance, and we ultimately going to this all-time high for Visa. That's exactly what I want to see. The weekly, from a weekly time frame perspective, is bullish to me. After taking out all of these lows, boom, we go back up. I definitely see Visa hitting all-time highs. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong, but it is what it is. But for a good risk reward, these will be good. These relative highs right here from a weekly time frame is a good take profit, but for a good risk reward, we want a 1-to-1 or higher. I don't want no freaking 0.7 risk reward. So with that being said, that'll be ultimately this volume imbalance right here, or the middle of it. Yeah, that would be a good trade. I missed out on here because I just started charting this out, but it's okay. Missed opportunities, ain't nothing wrong with it, but I still see it, going back up for the month. It might have another retracement for the month of January, ultimately speaking. Next company is MA, MasterCard Incorporated. What do I see here? Why am I bullish here? We have this pushable above. You see this good displacement above this swing high right here. And then after this good displacement above this swing high, we push into this weekly buy sign and balance, sell sign efficiency. I don't even need to show a daily chart. If I'm being 100% honest with y'all, what my stop loss will be? My stop loss will be right here, targeting what we got, these good relative equal highs on a weekly time frame perspective. Good one risk reward. That means I'll risk 1,000 to make 1,000. That's perfect capital to me, and it will be good. And it'll probably be more when it comes to the option contracts. It'll probably even be more than that. But I definitely see it touching. We already touched one of these relative equal highs. I do see it going up to five um this 585.30, and I do see MasterCard hitting all-time highs. So yeah, based off the IWB being at all-time highs, I genuinely wouldn't getting any of these trades. The IWB, since it's at all-time highs, I wouldn't get in any of these type of trades. Any of these type of trades at all. They do look good for going up, but looking at the IWB, these didn't hit all-time highs, but the IWB did. That means it's a smart money diversion, right? It's an SMT, smart money thinking, smart money tool, whatever you want to call it. That means when the IWB comes back down, these are going to come back down with it even more heavier. But without looking at the IWB, these do look like a good trade. Like the Visa, the MA, from a weekly chart perspective, it does look like it wants to go back up. But since the IWB is at all-time highs and I do want to see it come back down, I wouldn't even budge again in any of these trades. But based off of just turning these charts alone, it does look good to go up. But since I add the IWB inside of it, I want to get in, I want to long them. But they do look good though, just like from a company by itself alone. Moving on to the next one. GE. Since it's at all-time highs, which means what? It's in a premium. This stock, this company has been going insane. I do want to see it. It's bullish from a weekly chart perspective, so I'm not bearish on this company. I do want to see it come back down to between this 303.66 to this 305. I mean, yeah, 305.58. I'll genuinely want to see it come back down and there to a rebound to this weekly buy sign and balance, sell sign efficiency. It's at all-time highs right now. I'm not doing nothing with it. Ultimately, I do want to see it come back down to this real premium based off the daily range off a daily chart. Let me go to this weekly real quick. We got this good weekly discount wick. That would be good too for it to come back down to. So I'm not getting any type of trade on GE, but that's where I want to see it come down to look for an opportunity to get into a trade. Next one up, we got Caterpillar. Caterpillar, Caterpillar. It's within, we had to close below this buy sign and balance, sell sign efficiency, but you see, we came back up and we reclaim it. Since we reclaimed it, and yeah, we just been back up. We within the dealing range, we are within this premium. But since I don't see any short opportunity based off a weekly chart, I'm not gonna get any type of short. So long story short, I want to see the weekly become bearish for me to get in any type of short. Just because the market's at all-time highs doesn't mean I'm going to short it. Yes, it's in a premium. Yes, I do see it coming back down, but that does not mean I'm going to press the market and go short on it because I want to see a weekly turn bearish before I go any type of short on any lower time frame, just as a daily chart or a 4-hour chart, right? Coming back down, we got what? Pepsi. Now, Pepsi from this is a horrible weekly chart. Horrible. We haven't hit all-time highs on Pepsi ever since 2023. So this, I'll just straight look for is this company to go short in it. Now, will be a good short for this company? I'll see it. I definitely do see it coming back down to this 137.25 and this 139 right here. We got to push after taking out this swing high right here. That's not a swing. I'm tripping. After going in within this volume imbalance, within this suspension block, we got to push below this swing low, right? And then we got this volume imbalance up here to this right here, this weekly SIBI. Now, if we tap back into this weekly SIBI, I ought to put this, weekly, no. Boom, all right, bet. Here we go. This weekly SIBI, stop loss right here. I definitely see it coming back, going all the way down to here. Since, right, that's what I genuinely see on Pepsi. I just got it on my list because going back over everything, it was within my top 5. So I'm probably most likely not gonna get a trade within Pepsi. I'm bearish, is bearish on this company. Now moving on to the next one. Last but not least, ETF is the Russell 2000. Like I said, this is the small caps, right? I do want to see come back down to this weekly buy sign and balance, sell sign and efficiency right here. This 238.30 to 244.30. I do want to see it come back down to that. We had this good market structure shift below. So I definitely want to see what it does when it comes back down to here. Looking at a daily chart. Yeah, we got good displacement below. What's this dealing range we're in? We're currently in this dealing range right here. We're still in a premium, so that's good. See, for example, we had this market share shift based off a weekly time frame. This is the perfect short example, right? So that lets me know when we get this market share shift right here, that lets me know that what I could be bearish down to where? Down to here. because I know it's gonna hold right here, most likely 9 times out of 10, right? Or we can't just flush between it and we close below here. But this will be a target. If I want to get into shorts based off the small caps IWM, I would short to here. We got this good displacement from the week of December 29th of stock market, right? We got this good displacement below this 246.70. What will be an entry for me? An entry. What? We're already within what? We from a daily range, we already within a what? A premium. This is the perfect example. You want to shorten a premium and what? Long in a discount. We got up here to this what? To this daily sell sign and balance buy sign efficiency. Now, right? I do want to see it come, right? I do want to see it come down to that weekly sell sign and balance buy sign efficiency. Stop loss will be right here. And what? This will be my target. See, now that's a good one risk reward. Risk 1,000 to make 1,000. Risk 100 to make 100, right? But typically, the option contracts be pricey. They anywhere from like 500 to 1,000. So I definitely see the small caps coming back down. I might mess around and short this. If we're still within here, I might mess around and just short the small caps, being 100% honest, because I definitely see it coming back down to here. I definitely want to get into puts on the small cap. I definitely see it coming back down to here. We got this good displacement below this weekly low. So for a small cap perspective, I'm giving y'all a trade. If we wake up Monday morning during the weekend, we're still within here, but I'm letting you know a stop loss is here. This is a stop loss. This will be my stop loss. I'm not always 100% wrong every single trade. So why? We always have a stop loss, and you want to manage risk the correct way. This will be a one risk reward trade, right? We get in, we say if we risk 500, make 500, right? You up 5, that's a whole one risk reward. This will be good right here to this weekly buy sign and balance, sell sign efficiency. The weekly chart is bearish, and then we are within a premium. So from a weekly chartist perspective, within a dealing range of a daily chart, we are in a premium, we short. You within what? This daily sell sign and balance buy sign efficiency. This will be a good short right here for the IWM Russell 2000. Now we're going to move within the stocks of the Russell 2000. And that means since I am bearish on the Russell 2000, I will look to what? Get into nothing but shorts on the stocks within it. First stock we got right here is EcoStar Corporation. Now it's at all-time highs. I'm not really looking to do nothing with it. I do want to see it come back down to this weekly buy sign balance, sell sign efficiency right here in this volume imbalance. Next, we're gonna go to the daily chart. It just out all the time. This thing is just going, going, and going. Look at the like. That's what I mean by these small caps being unprofitable, bro. So that's why I say you gotta really manage your risk the correct way. Next one we're going to is Fabinet, whatever it's called. FAB, I think it's a stock ticker. So ultimately, we do got this discount wick right here from a weakish perspective. I want to see it push below the swing low to be bearish. This 424.44, that's gonna let me know. Oh yeah, we're bearish from a weekly time frame perspective. Other than that, this thing is like just doing what it do. I don't really want to do nothing with it. Next stock is BBIO. It's at all-time highs on these small cap companies, all-time highs. I do want to see it rebound to this weekly buy sign and balance sell sign efficiency between this 69.40 to 71.07. But BBIO, it can keep going up and up and up. But I won't be trading it. I won't be getting started swing trade of it. Why? I don't play all-time highs. And the weekly chart on IWM is bearish. Going back down. Next stock, we got MDGL. Looking at a week's perspective on MDGL, we is what? Bullish. Bullish, bullish, bullish. It just got done hitting all-time highs. What, of the week of December 22nd. I'm definitely chilling on this stock. I want to see a rebalance back to between this 436.84 to this 520.45. Yeah, we have huge runs like that. Why? Because it's a small cap stock. Want to see it come back down to here and look for any opportunity. But for me to get it long, I do want to see some the IWM in general turn bullish, but right now it's not bullish. Yeah, I just do see it coming back down to here. We get a push below this swing low. Yeah, I do see it coming back down to this weekly Sibby. I mean, weekly busy. Moving on to the next dot. IONQ. Looking at IONQ, this chart is crucial. You looking at this. This is what weekly time frame. We are what? Bearish. Bearish, bearish, bearish. Now I don't see any entry for bearishness, bro. Like when the chart look like this, I just let it do what it do. We obviously took out, we got these good swing, we got these good relative equal highs up here. Now, what I want to see is we come back, come up, take out these relative equal highs, be in a premium, have an inversion of fair value gap or a market structure shift of a swing low, then enter, go back down, targeting this low right here. But we can just keep dropping and dropping back down. Moving on to the next dot. All right, now that's all the stocks and all my predictions and the opportunities I see within those stocks. I'm gonna finish it up and get to these last two, but not least. The first one I'm gonna start with SMH. Looking at SMH, right? This ETF, huge ETF, right? It's a semiconductor ETF. I do want to see it come back down to this, since I'm bearish on QQQ right now. I do want to see it come back down to the 330.24 ultimately, but we do have this discount wick right here, and it just got done hitting all-time highs. From a weekly perspective, it is bullish. It's very bullish, so I wouldn't recommend shorting it. So I'm definitely bullish at all-time highs. I don't short or I don't long all-time highs. Like I keep saying, if we push below this swing low, that'll make me good. If we have good displacement below this swing low, that'll give me confidence. It does definitely want to come down to this weekly buy sign and balance, sell sign efficiency up here. But that's it for SMH. The next one I'm gonna go to is XLK. Now, XLK. What am I on XLK? I'm cautiously what? Bearish. I'm bearish, like I am on the Qs. And XLK is the technology sector. So it's basically, in my opinion, it's basically just like the Qs, but I do still keep it and watch it on my chart. Right. I'm bearish on the XLK. Do want to see it come down to this 139.11. Ultimately, I want to see it come down to this 135.94 to this 137.13. That's going to wrap it up for my top stocks of January 2026. Now, let's talk about the capital allocation. Now, when I see the opportunity to get into these stocks, I typically go for a 1 risk reward. Now, that means a 1. I typically love going for a 2 to 3, but we're going to start it off keep it basic out of 1. Now that means I'm gonna go before I had this lined up before I even touch a trade. I want to risk 500 to make 500, or risk 500 to make typically 1,000 or 1,500, right? Make a good money off of your risk and what you're risking to deploy the capital the correct way. So I always so I obviously have this lined up before I touch any trade. You always want to know what you're going to risk per trade. Like it should be overall 2% of your whole portfolio of what you have in there. And that's how I typically do it. So I will risk 500 to 1,000 per contract and go for to make off that 500. I typically want to make 1,000 or I want to make 500. That's me generally speaking. But before I even look for an opportunity to deploy capital in any of these type of trades, that's what I look for. But I gave y'all my top stocks, ETFs I plan on looking for opportunities on in January 2026. With that being said, I'm gonna catch you on the next one.